Hello. So today what we're going to be doing is exploring a PowerPC G4 iMac. Now, this would have been roughly the top of the line model that you could have gotten back in 2002. It's got an 800 MHz processor, 256 megabytes of RAM, and an 80 gig hard drive. It's also got the 17-inch 1440 by 900 display, so this would have been the best iMac G4 you could have gotten back when it was released around 2002, although it wouldn't be the biggest with the 20-inch iMac coming about 2 years later. So you saw it had that little verbose boot up right there. That's something I do with all of my Unix-based systems. And about that, let's see what the outputs of some commands are. So we've got the old Finder here, but I'm less interested about what is in this. And more interested what's in here. Let's just see here. So looking at applications, utilities, and yeah, so let's make this window a bit larger here. Let's open the terminal. Bring this into more central view here, and let's see what we get. Type in a few commands. Let's see, uname, Darwin, name slash r 6.8, and we have, yeah, so Darwin kernel version 6.8. Filed on Wednesday, September 10th, 2003. So, as I mentioned before, this is running Mac OS 10 10.2.8, and I'll just bring the About This Mac screen here so you can see that. And more info. We have the Apple System Profiler here. Yeah. So I'll go through some of the applications that are on here. So yeah, Finder, Mail, which I'm pretty sure isn't set up. This thing is not being super fast right now. I wonder how long I'm going to be waiting for this. There we go. So yeah, there's going to be some names I'm going to have to blur out, but, you know, it's kind of something you'll have to do. Okay. Acquired information missing. Yeah, no. So you have iChat, which I'm pretty sure isn't set up either. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. Safari. Now, for a browser of this age, it looks surprisingly modern. Like, you would have other browsers around this time, like IE6 and even Firefox that would come out like a year later, but the overall aesthetics of this browser holds up pretty well today. Like, it wouldn't look out of place compared to a fairly modern web browser. In fact, this does have Internet Explorer installed, so let's see what that looks like in comparison. So I will make this window larger. So let me see here. So scrolling through, should be somewhere around here. I'm probably not spotting it. There we are. I probably did not launch it. Come on, where did it go? Yeah, so this is a more accurate representation of what browsers would have looked like at this time. Now, IE5 is a bit older than Safari, but not much really changed visually between the two. But you can tell immediately how dated Internet Explorer is on this. Like, this just screams early 2000s, where this looks fairly modern in comparison. Although I'm going on a rant about web browsers. So I think I'll just quit out of these. And then we have Sherlock, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to require an internet connection to use, which I do not have. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Microsoft Word. There is a specific Mac version of this, I believe. I'll have to check. Let's see here. So yeah, let's see here. And yeah, so we're using Mac OS 10. It's nice. Just gonna type something down here. And I'm not gonna save it, or maybe I will. Yeah, there's already a Hello World document on there that I created earlier. Just quit Microsoft Word right now. And what else do we have? So we have address book, which I'm pretty sure you already know what this is. Yes, you see actually, you can kind of tell which applications are a bit newer than this operating system because of the general aesthetic that you see here. So in OS 10.3 and above, you'd see the kind of brushed aluminum you see in this application. where in 10.2 you'd have the pinstripes. So we have iTunes here, and I believe this is running a fairly new version of it. I think this might actually be the newest software that's on this computer. So it's iTunes 6, so yeah, that'd definitely be like one of the newest pieces of software on this computer. I'm also pretty sure this is the latest version that can run under OS 10 10.2. So we have that. iCal. This is just going to be a calendar, but I think it might be interesting to look at anyways. Yeah, it's just a calendar. See, it's kind of the newer style too. iPhoto. Yeah, it's just iPhoto. Well, there's nothing on it right now. I think the owner did a good job at clearing everything out. There's a trash bag beside me that is moving on its own. That is a bit weird. Anyways, it's not really particularly important right now. Let's see what is on iMovie here. What the fuck is going on with that trash bag? Sorry for the language. Alright, going to quit that because I don't actually have a project. And let's try seeing what's in some of the system preferences. I tried recording one of these before, so I'm going to go through these fairly quickly. So we have a desktop here, this is just all the backgrounds. So you have all the Apple backgrounds, you have the kind of different kinds of aqua backgrounds. These look pretty nice. I especially like these. These actually look from an era that's actually newer than what you typically see. So these iMacs are from around, like, what, 2002? You'd see backgrounds like this on a lot of things, such as Linux distributions and other things from around 10 years later. Anyways, let's see some of the other images. We have nature. I'm not going to go through each of them. You can probably see them well enough, I'm guessing. Abstract. Solid colors. Solid colors are just called solid colors, and there's nothing in any of these folders, so it's not going to show anything. Dock. Yeah, this is just basically dock settings, so we could this magnification would make this magnify a lot. None would basically do nothing here. And then we have it kind of in the middle, or doesn't seem to be very middle right now. fuck is pushing this in? Alright, I don't know if my fucking trash bag is haunted or not, but it's moving on its own for some reason. Not sure if there's some sort of creature locked up in there or something. Anyways, I think that's all we need to see there. I'm actually just going to change that back to the default. So Apple the background images and yeah, they're right there. Anyways, let's see. So we have dock general. Let me see. It's just kind of appearance settings. So we have the blue kind of appearance, which is all colorful and what you usually think of when you think of Aqua. The Aqua interface on Mac OS 10, but you have graphite, which I don't really like as much. Yeah, it replaces all this color with basically all this gray stuff, which you might like it, you might not. I don't, so I usually change it back to blue. And in my opinion, this is looking much better. So we have general here. I think it's already in there. International, which is basically just languages and stuff. Date, time, numbers, input menu. Then we have login items, which is just the applications that start up when you log in. My account, which I'm going to have to blur out the username in here. But that's basically your account stuff. Screen effects, and this is something I like playing around with. It's pretty much just your screensavers. Although, there's a bunch here, so we have like one of these. Computer name. Although, if I'm being honest, this is my favorite kind of Mac OS screen effect here. I just think it looks beautiful. And then, yeah, there's a bunch of other ones. So abstract, which is abstract paintings, beach, beaches, cosmos, pictures of the cosmos, forest, pictures of forests, and pictures folders in .mac, which .mac is something that's defunct now, but pictures folder would just be your pictures folder. Then activation. Now we have CDs and DVDs. I'm pretty sure this does have a DVD drive in it, but I'm not entirely certain. You would have thought that at the area this would have been in, that it would have only had a CD drive, but I do know that there are some models of the G4 that do come with DVD drives. I've tried putting a movie into this before, and it didn't play it, but I'm just going to chalk that up to the operating system. I'm assuming that functionality wasn't in this version of macOS. So you have color sync, which is basically just can have color workspaces for applications. So you have, you know, various RGB and stuff like that. I'm not really going to go through it. Displays. As far as I'm aware, you've got one display on this. You can only connect technically one display. You can connect one that's mirrored to this. But as far as I'm aware, this iMac does not have proper dual monitor support. Even though I'm pretty sure the graphics card in this, which is, I believe, a GeForce 4MX with 32 megabytes of RAM. Can actually support multi-monitors. Yeah, I'm actually going to end the recording off here, and I'll continue talking about that when I restart it. So I am back. As I was saying before, this, as far as I'm aware, only supports one monitor. And then you can plug it into a mini VGA port and get mirrored monitors, but you believe you cannot do dual monitors on this. Even though the operating system and the hardware does support it. Technically, like the GeForce 4MX, as far as I'm aware, does support dual monitors. And the operating system also does support it, and I'm pretty sure if you had a different Mac with more like one of those towers, like a G4, you could connect 2 monitors to it, but you can't do it with this. So, as far as the actual display goes itself, this display is surprisingly good, considering the fact that this is a pretty early LCD for desktop computers. Now what you've got to consider is that in 2002, LCD monitors weren't very popular at that time because of their price. So for many people who are buying these iMacs, it might have been their first experience with an LCD display. Well, one that's on a laptop, but I would say that this is actually a pretty big leap above a lot of laptop LCD displays at this time, primarily because of the fact that its response times aren't completely horrible like you would see on a lot of laptops around this time period. But if we're talking about like computer displays today, this isn't necessarily good. It's not going to blow out like a good IPS monitor. But if we're comparing this to something like a cheap TN laptop display that you can buy at like Walmart for $300 US or 500 Canadian, this is a lot better than one of those, even though this monitor is nearly 20 years old. It's kind of incredible to see it. But yeah, like, color reproduction on this is a lot better than one of those monitors, which is the main thing that you'll see. Contrast is a lot better. Viewing angles are roughly the same. Like, the viewing angles on this are horrible, which is what you'd expect from a TN panel of this time. And response times are roughly similar to a lot of low-end laptops today. I can kind of tell when you look at motion, it's a bit smeary, but it's not like 1990s laptops level bad. Like, somebody who might have been exposed to LCD displays before getting one of these iMacs is probably using one of those 1990s laptops that had such horrible response times that it's not even, this is a huge upgrade. Compared to CRT panels of this time, well, I wish I had one to compare it with. I might end up getting a G3 at some time. If I do, you'll probably see a video on it. But I don't actually have an extremely great collection of retro computers because one of mine ended up getting destroyed. And there's nothing really else around me that I can actually afford at the moment. But I went into a bit of a ramble there that lasted like 4 minutes, so I'm going to take a look at the other settings. So we have Energy Saver here, which is just sleep and options and stuff. You know, it's the same kind of stuff that you see generally for power saving and other operating systems. I probably don't need to go through it. I just went through tabs there. If you want to pause it, you can look at it, but I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Keyboard and mouse. So, surprisingly few options for keyboard. Mouse, not really. So, a few settings here. The Bluetooth and keyboard access, I'm actually kind of surprised about Bluetooth being included on this, because I'm not sure if the airport card would have supported Bluetooth, but I know that this doesn't have one of those. And I'm pretty certain that without the airport card or any other thing that, or anything else that can give this Bluetooth, it's not going to be able to support anything with Bluetooth. Okay, so we have that sound. Now, as you can tell, it does have a built-in microphone that is actually picking up my speech, but I'm pretty certain it's pretty bad, as computer microphones were at around this time period. Now, one thing I'm actually kind of wondering, what would happen if I plug my Yeti into this? Now, no, I'm not using the Yeti for this audio. You can probably hear, because I can't actually get that, I can actually get it into a position where I can use it comfortably and, you know, control the computer and everything. So I have to rely on the crappy built-in camera audio. Sorry, it is what it is right now, and until I can find a better setup for that, you're going to keep hearing this quality audio. Anyways, I also like to mention the speakers on these is actually pretty good. Like, I haven't actually played any music on it, but it is fairly loud. And it's been pretty good in my experience, especially for something of this age. Now, internet and network, so let's just see what's in here. So we have .Mac, which is kind of old. Apple used to be kind of into this thing some time ago. It's not necessarily that the ideas of .Mac would fail. Like, a lot of the things that would be introduced with .Mac made it into Apple products in the future. But it came at a time that wasn't very good for that. It's a bit ahead of its time. Then we have iDisk, which, yeah, that's not going to be able to do anything. Email, which is basically the email service. I'm pretty sure that, yeah, this is just using Apple's default mail thing. Then we have Internet Explorer. This has Netscape on it, and I actually kind of want to check that out. I'll do that right now, actually. Let's see if it's on here. This should also be a pretty good comparison with what I was talking about before, although I don't know for certain if... Yeah, so Netscape is right here. And it launched iPhoto instead. Netscape. Why does this always happen to me? I am kind of using the mouse in an uncomfortable position, so it is possible that I'm moving it while trying to click on things. It looks like it is taking its sweet time to load. I like how this integrates like the aqua kind of interface in here. Although this does look like it has a tab in it, so I'm pretty sure this is even newer than Safari is. And oh wow, seemingly bricked it already. Let's see what version of Netscape we have on here. That kind of went away as soon as I... Oh, yeah, this is the OLED screen. Never mind. So it's a version from 2003 again. So yeah, so you have essentially Firefox's predecessor here. So you have tabbed browsing, although, as I probably mentioned before, compared this to Safari as far as like aesthetics go, and it's not even a comparison when it comes to which one looks more modern. Like, Safari looks like a pretty modern web browser. This looks like something definitely early 2000s, although Safari didn't really have tabbed browsing and this did, well, at the time. Anyways, let's get out of there. And so you've explored sound, I think internet network. This is just going to be your network settings. I don't have this connected to anything right now. I know that this does have, I know that I can probably plug my Ethernet into there, which I do have power line going to my desktop, which I could theoretically unplug that from there and plug it into the iMac here, but I'm not going to do that right now, although I might do a some sort of old net video, whatever the hell it's called again. With one of these, using all three of the browsers. We have Netscape, Internet Explorer, and Safari. I think that's going to be a pretty interesting video. But that's not really what we're talking about right now. So we have Internet Protocol, so TCP/IP, PGP, PoE, Apple Talk, and other proxies. QuickTime. So you have the play movies automatically, kind of stuff. And sharing, which I'm pretty sure, yeah. And then let's see what we get under, so we have accounts here, which I'm going to have to blur out the names, except probably my name here. Classic, which is just macOS Classic, which I could actually probably reboot into. See that it works. Date and time, which this is the current date and time. I'm pretty sure that this will be affected by the 2037 bug, but I'm just going to check that right now. Oh. I can go past 2037, but can I actually set it to something past 2037? I'll find out a little bit later. Software updater, which this isn't going to work at all anymore. Software updater ran successfully Friday, December 30th, 2005. Yeah, so, yeah, that would have been a long time ago, and I doubt that the servers for this would still be running anyways. Speech, which is just speech recognition, I think, which is pretty nice to have on a system from this time. startup disk. Now we have 10.2.8 here, and we have 9.2.2. I'm going to make another video at some point, probably fairly soon, about macOS 9.2.2 on this iMac here. And then universal access is just universal stuff, so nothing that I really need to take any sort of note of right now. Now, yeah, one thing I want to see, I'm going to try setting this to 2039 and seeing if it works. And I'm pretty sure these used 32-bit POSIX time, so it would have started in 1970, but then in 2037 it would have reached over the 32-bit integer, and then in most cases it would start back at 0 again, which would be January 1st, 1970, or 1969. No, it would have been 1970, which is why you saw a lot of iPhones being bricked if you were to set it to 2037 some amount of time ago, a couple of years ago. Had that entire controversy there. Yeah, so it set it back to, in this case, 1901. Definitely not the correct date. What is the correct date? Let's see here. And I seem to have messed up its time too, so it's Thursday, August 26th today, so let's just set that back. I'm pretty sure Apple wasn't expecting you to be still using one of these in 2023, or I mean not that, but 2037 or newer. So it wasn't like it was going to be that big of a deal for a system like this to suffer from that bug. And time it is right now. It is 10. I'm just going to wait until that reaches. There we go, so time's back in sync again. So I think that's going to conclude the exploration for today. I think, actually, I'm going to use the calculator, which I think is just going to be a standard macOS calculator, although this is kind of the newer style, so I wonder what this would have come with on 10.2 initially, if it would have came with anything. Yeah. calculating things with it. So 420 plus 69 equals 489, so that's a pretty nice number. And the computer's burping at me when I say 69, so you know that it likes it. Anyways, that will conclude the video.